A new snapshot and beta/preview released today, showing us features that will be inside Minecraft 1.19, like for the first time ever, a craftable music disc. And the fact that it's craftable isn't even the weirdest thing about this thing, but it's not the only feature found inside today's updates, because we also have a significant change to the ancient city, at least for the Bedrock version. They've now canonically added, on both versions, and therefore they're probably going to keep it, the redstone room that is found below the portal. This is a very strange piece of basically tutorial, but it also adds a massive piece of lore to the game below the ancient city portal, which is already the biggest addition we've seen in a while, the biggest mystery we've found. And when you add the fact that they've changed Reinforced Deep Slate this week, it really points to the fact that there are some serious lore changes, a serious mystery that is being unveiled in front of us. This is going to be one of the strangest updates ever, and I'm totally down for it. But first, let's explain that today was the day of 4 Minecraft updates. Minecraft released updates for dungeons, for the launcher, for the Bedrock beta/preview, as well as a brand new snapshot. And we could go into each of those things in detail, but we'll mostly just say the new snapshot added some changes to the alley. They turned some things that used to be randomized into things that always happen in a certain way, and then also they added some new music tracks to the game. This has also been done on the Bedrock beta/preview, so let me show you some of the tracks and that aren't the weird one. This is Firebugs, and it's definitely the most chill of the batch. It would not be out of place in Stardew Valley or a similarly relaxed game. I really like what's happening here. It's very basic, very simple, but it fits Minecraft in that way, in my opinion. Then we have Airy. In my opinion, this combines the chill vibes of the early Minecraft songs while still mixing in those influences from other super chill, relaxed games like Animal Crossing or Stardew Valley or things like that. Now we just have to move on to Labyrinthine because it's kind of the opposite. Does this not get you hyped to explore? I don't believe you if you say the answer to that question is no. This is a track that I'm assuming based on the name is going to be playing in the ancient city, but my god, does that get you in the mood for a good exploration, for a wild update. That is the theme right there in my opinion. And then finally, this one feels the most out of place, but maybe it'll grow on me. You know, it's hard to be sure. But yeah, after these 4 tracks, which are all by Lena Raine, it should be worth mentioning, who has been basically the game's primary composer ever since the thing we don't talk about with C418. But yeah, there is a 5th song which is found in this update, which is of course the music disc, and we need to talk about that because there's so much going on with it. But first, let's just briefly explain the other lore changes they made, because it's so interesting to see that the changes to the ancient city, which did exist on Java and you probably could have seen coming, have now made their way to Bedrock. You can now find these dark oak planks all around the ancient city, which is interesting because dark oak is the plank of choice for the pillagers. It's what they use in their woodland mansions and their pillager outposts. You could argue they didn't build the mansions, but it's made out of dark oak anyway. And so now these 3 structures, these 3 very scary places, I'd argue, have this same thing in common of using this same wood type. And that tells you something very interesting about how hostile mobs behave in Minecraft, or it's a weird coincidence, but it's a very weird coincidence, right? But you'll also see that this also makes Minecraft a little bit easier. It's not just a slight lore change, but it also means that if you're in an ancient city, you can now get logs and wood for the first time in a properly easy way, which means it's a little bit easier to craft if, let's say, you had a seed where you spawned in an ancient city and you wanted things to be a little bit less hard. Now it's a bit easier to spawn and to survive in here, obviously discounting the warden, but they also have solidified, like I mentioned, the secret port room under the portal here. So this is something you can find if you're digging around under the portal. This dimly lit area underneath the portal is presumably meant to act as a bit of a redstone tutorial in some aspect, but it's also clearly got some lore implications, because going this far into the game, going this far below a portal, just to teach some basic things about redstone is not how most people will be using it. It's not, they could have done a redstone tutorial in so many better ways, but they chose this place, which tells me, interestingly, this is the most redstone connected place that exists in Minecraft, in their opinion. To show you what I mean, by the way, that this is kind of like a redstone tutorial, this is a tutorial to teach you that comparators will measure all sorts of weird blocks. So if we put a book in the lectern, which we'll do right here, as you can see, now what that does is that activates the light. Wow, making books can activate lights. It's amazing. Throwing snowballs can activate pistons, which activate redstone blocks, which activate lights. Wow, that's so cool. You can do all sorts of weird things with redstone, and the game, this little redstone tutorial is here to teach you about them, and in some parts, really good at that. However, when you think about it, it's clearly not just a redstone tutorial. Minecraft has specifically avoided adding tutorial, even though it worked really well in Minecraft Console Edition, and so this isn't meant to be here just as a developer wink wink nudge nudge, here's how you do redstone. It is meant to be here clearly as something that was built a long time ago by whoever inhabited this ancient city. You know, we think we're the first Minecraft players, but there's so many remnants of an older world, and some of those remnants lead to direct redstone signals. In fact, these redstone people weren't just doing basic things like you see in the jungle temples on the surface. They were making pretty advanced pieces of redstone and circuits that most players would not know how to do instinctively. And but look at this, they even knew that it couldn't go through glass. They made all sorts of weird things, and clearly, as you can tell from the fact that in here they have a whole different type of redstone which is only accessible when you come to their cities. They'd mastered redstone in a whole different way to everyone else. That's the lore vibe that I get from this thing. That is not only the lore vibe, it's the only way you can take this. There is an ancient city in Minecraft, and that is the only place where lots of redstone items are found. I think that's endlessly interesting. And this redstone tutorial, which again, this is a very complex way of doing this thing, but it's also a great way to show that, yeah, they knew what they were doing, huh? They had lots of things going on here. And I just think it's endlessly interesting to look through at this redstone tutorial from that lens of this has to be built that way. But let's also look at the fact that in this update, they changed the way reinforced deep slate worked. So a lot of these changes were basic ones. It's like, yeah, it shouldn't be destroyed by the wither or by the ender dragon or by, let's be honest, reinforced deep slate is an undestroyable block. It spawns into your world once and then never again. Just like how the skulk is only found here, this is a block and this is a portal that is found in this one location only, this ancient city. It implies it's even older than the civilizations which existed otherwise in Minecraft. The fact that there is this existing guardian, you could call him a warden of this civilization, is an even and he's the strongest mob in the game, should be an even bigger sign that something existed here that they wanted to defend, and it all has to do with this portal. And now they've moved in this update the reinforced deep slate into the nature tab. It is not a building block. It is not something you the player have access to. It is nature in the same way that leaves or grass blocks or crying obsidian are. They exist in the wild, and that's about it. That is their primary place, to say the least, I should say. And that tells us that, yes, something is happening here. It's not in this update, but the mystery of what and why and how and adding the redstone into all of it, it is so interesting. And it also ties into the new music disc, which we can come back to now. I need to talk about this music disc. It's driving me crazy, right? Because in the snapshot only, it's not here on the Bedrock edition, when you search around chests in the ancient city, you might not just find great leggings and magical cucumbers. What you might also find is music disc shards for the first time ever, which is very strange to say out loud. And what happens when you combine those music disc shards? You get this music disc by Samuel Aberg. It's called 5, and I need to play this to you because it's just such a strange disc. It sounds like nothing's playing. And then you hear noises that aren't music. And flint and steel and bats. And then nothing. It's just one of these broken music discs, right? And then we're good. Yeah, we go. We got a great new music disc. You just gotta listen to some spooky sounds first. I like it. And so this is the rest of the disc, of course. It's just happy music vibes. Nothing else to worry about. Okay, so there's we can listen to that all day. If you want to listen to the whole version without me over here talking over, etc., you can do that. I've uploaded it to the third channel in full. But let me just say for now that this is another one of these weird music discs. I think, but the fact that it's called 5 is the first illusion, but also you can see that, like, yeah, it is very similar in content and in form to 11 and to 13, the other strange music discs which are numbered, and obviously which seem to go in order. This is another sign that the ancient city, which is called an ancient city, which is the biggest sign, but it's another sign that the ancient city is clearly this like like everything else society, because the music disc comes first. There was clearly a long series of numbers, and then this was called 5 for that reason. In fact, actually, by the way, I can still hear it from here. It's just so spooky. In fact, I don't like it. It makes me feel strange. Anyway, so I'm actually gonna deliberately stop this now, just to save myself some sanity. But yeah, the interesting thing is each of these music discs has a prime number as its title. It's 5, and then 11, and then 13, and that, interestingly enough, means that there's only there's another disc in between them if they're going for every prime after that, which means you should expect there's like a 7 that is missing here, and then after that maybe like a what would it be, 17, I think would be the next one. But yeah, they're prime numbers, and they're all weird music discs, and and now, like, rather than these just being weird things which maybe have some lore, the fact that they've continued it, as well as with a new artist, quite interestingly, kind of tells us there is some deeper lore going on there. In fact, this whole update, it's really great in terms of the external features we can all see and play with, but the way that they're playing with lore and making us question what's going on with that, as well as all these predictions and the mysteries of the future, that is the thing they're doing really impressively in this update, in my opinion. 5 is a really impressive new disc for that reason. I'm in love with the things that it brings up. Like, is this a recording of an ancient city from way past? Why is this the coolest looking music disc? I mean, there's so many fun questions that I think is what they have done to nail this Minecraft update. I think that it's very easy to just have an update full of things like they were probably going to do. Update the swamp and update the ancient city, bring the deep dark to the game. But I think it's so much more interesting when they're raising all these questions, which we have to find answers for. By the way, this is the new panorama for Java. That's, it's a good sign the update's good in the progress. I really cannot overstate the fact that, yeah, the amount of features in an update really is the primary way that we're going to judge it forever. That's going to be the important thing. If they don't get anything towards the birch forest, and they underdeliver just based on the one Minecon trailer that was kind of underwhelming compared to what you were expecting last year, sure, that's going to be a bummer, but I love what you're seeing in this update in terms of when they, the way they are attacking lore and they're attacking these other things in the game that you don't think of. They're not just going for pure feature load. They're trying to make the features interesting and raise questions. Like, the Wandering Trader, where does he come from, is an interesting question that I hope one day they start to build towards an answer for. And in this update, the portal is the big question. Where's that from? But also, why did this ancient civilization use redstone? What for? What's going on there? What is with this disc? Is there ever going to be a completion to this series of discs? It's something that I hope they continue to work towards, and there isn't like a flash in the pan, because Minecraft goes through trends and phases where they feel like they're going to do something forever and then they don't. I hope this isn't one of them. For now though, I hope you'll enjoy this video. I edited it myself, that's why it's so bad. If you want to come watch me live stream, I'm going to be probably doing something with the brand new ancient cities. The spawning an ancient city and trying to beat the warden. I feel like that'd be a fun thing to do, so I think we'll do that probably tonight. Would you like that? We're gonna do it. Sound good? And then tomorrow we'll be doing some very fun speedrunning stuff. I'm looking forward to it a lot. So yeah, super exciting week for Minecraft. Make sure to subscribe to see it all, because I'll see you next time. Goodbye.